Hi everybody, this is Justin here. Welcome to my channel. I'm here again to share with you on Malaysian cooking. Alright, there are many local favorites for us in Malaysia, and one of the cuisine is of course the Chinese cuisine, which I very much prefer. Of course, I like the other cuisines and the other cultures in Malaysia as well. It's just that I haven't really had a chance to embark on a journey of cooking other cuisines, which hopefully soon I will have a chance to do so. So today I'm going to cook a very simple one-pot rice. Yeah. What is this? Is the yam rice, 胡头饭. 胡头饭 is one of our favorites in Klang Valley, I believe, and also in Penang and Bukit Mertajam. I know there's a famous one. I'm not too sure about it in other states. So why yam rice is because yam itself is a very fragrant root vegetable, and we use it to make a lot of other dishes as well. But it combines really well with rice, and today we're going to share with you how to make this yam rice. I'm going to use pork as my protein today, and with rice and yam, and with other seasonings, and with garlic, shallots, and also dried prawns. So it is a very simple one. Just stay with me for a couple of minutes. Okay, so now we're going to start with our protein, which is the pork. Alright, I bought this piece of pork. This is the fillet of the pork. Alright, in Cantonese we call it the mui yok, and from the butcher yesterday. It was fresh. So what I'm going to do is just to cut this and marinate it first. Of course, you can also use chicken or beef, or lamb, in fact, or other proteins that you prefer. I don't recommend fish because together with the rice, when you cook it, then it will break down a lot. Okay, now I'm just going to cut the pork first into thin slices. If you prefer it bigger, no problem, it's up to you. Okay, just going to cut it into thin slices so that we can marinate it and then work on the other things. So later we're going to combine this together. Okay. Why do I use the fillet? Is because the fillet is actually a softer meat and it doesn't require a long cooking time. So it's suitable for any dishes, stir fry, or like with rice. It's good for children, and it also will not turn dry. We're also very afraid that this meat, our protein, will turn dry. This one will not. Okay, so we have the fillet here. I'm cooking about 2 cups of rice today. So I'm just going to add on a little bit, which I have actually cut earlier. So I'm going to marinate this slightly with soy sauce. It's about 1 tablespoon. Oyster sauce, 1 tablespoon. A little bit of pepper. Little bit of sugar. It's a pinch. Sugar, pepper. And then we put in a little bit of starch. Starch will keep it smooth. Okay. 我哋都可以加啲油落去，香油. I have some shallot oil, so I'm putting in some shallot oil to give some fragrance and keep it smooth. Yeah. You may also, if you do not have this oil, you can use any oil that you have. All right. And we add in a little bit of water so that it can absorb everything together. Okay, you can use your hands or use your spoon, mix it all in together. You can see. Okay, then we're done. So we just let it sit for a while and let it marinate so that you have a bit of some taste together with the rice. Alright, so next up what we're going to do is to cut the yam into cube size, into cube bite size. So why I like to cut it into cubes is so that when we eat, it's easier to cut of course, and when we eat into when you cut into bite size later, when you cook it with the rice, you can eat it with the rice and the pork in 1 spoonful. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just cut the head off here first. Okay, so what we're going to do next is actually to fry the yam. Okay, we have to deep fry it, so you do need a little bit more of oil. So I'm just going to heat up the wok a little bit. Once the wok is hot, your pan is hot, you can add in the oil. I have some used oil which we have used for a little bit of frying, so you can use it again, no problem. The wok is heated up, pour in your oil. I'll split it up into 2 batches. So the oil needs to be very hot for you to be able to fry this yam very nicely, okay? Because you don't want to fry it for too long. You don't need to overcook it, because don't forget we're still going to boil it with the rice, okay? Just now, leave the other half for the next round. You can see it's bubbling. You don't have to stir it too much, just let it fry. Stir it occasionally. Yeah, some of you may ask, what's the reason of us frying the yam? Okay, there's 2 reasons. One is to bring up its fragrance, yeah, and 2 is so that when you cook with the rice later, it does not mash up, it does not spoil. Okay, you can still see the yam in these bite sizes, these cube sizes. In deep frying, what we usually like to do is halfway through, you know, we like to take out the meat or anything that you're deep frying. In this case, the yam, push it up a little bit, or you can remove it, you know, so that the oil heats up again. And then after a couple of seconds, you put the yam in again, so that it fries better, and so that it does not absorb too much oil. Okay, very good. Just light brown color to it. And remove it. Okay, now we've heated up the oil again, and we're going to fry the next batch. going to do now is to remove the oil slightly. And keep about 3 to 4 tablespoons of oil. Put in the garlic. We're going to fry the rice together with the yam and the pork and all the seasoning in here before we put it into the rice cooker. Okay, lower down the fire slightly. Put in the, this is dried shrimp. Okay. Put in about 1 tablespoon of, 1 to 2 tablespoons of dried shrimp. If you like it, then you can add in more. Fry it slightly. I'm using the, what do you call this, the very fine dried shrimps. If you have the bigger ones, no issue, you can soak it into water and then chop it up first. Okay, so you can smell the fragrance and the garlic slightly browned. You can put in the rice. I've washed 2 cups of rice. I'm using basmati rice. You can use normal jasmine rice as well, no issues. Put in the rice. Frying it slightly. Put in a little bit of salt, so you have some fragrance from the fried shrimps. Okay. Now you can add in the yam that we fried earlier. You can see the ratio is actually just nice. Yam to rice, yeah. So I use 1 yam, about 700 grams, to 2 cups of rice. And now you can add in seasoning. So I add in a little bit of pepper. I'll add in a bit of chicken stock powder. You can omit this if you don't want, because they do contain a little bit of MSG. Okay, I'm also using saltfish, flounder fish powder. So add in about 1 teaspoon each of the flounder fish powder and also the chicken stock powder. Alright. Next up, what I'm going to add is this oyster sauce. About 2 tablespoons oyster sauce. And I like to add in about 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. My soy sauce is slightly darker and slightly sweeter. Okay. It is your personal preference. If you like your rice darker in color, you can add in dark caramel, haxiao, otherwise you don't have to. This will be slightly brownish after adding in water. Okay, lastly I'll just add in another half tablespoon of salt. Because once you add in water later to cook in a rice cooker, you need it slightly saltier here. Otherwise, it will not have enough taste. Okay, don't forget our pork that we've marinated earlier. So, depending how much you want, I'm not using all, so slightly. You don't have to make sure that the pork is cooked because we're going to cook in the rice cooker again. Just stir it slightly. And lastly, I'm going to add in a bit of shallot oil. This is shallots, yeah, fried shallots. I fried this yesterday and I always have them, so I'll just add in a little bit. You can put the oil for other dishes. Okay. If you don't have it ready, what you can do is before you fry anything else, after frying the yam, you can fry the shallots first. But because mine is already fried, so I added in lastly. Okay, looks beautiful. Now we just turn off the fire, and then we can move it into the rice pot. Okay, so I've got my rice pot here. What I'm going to do is just to slip it all into the rice pot, add in water. Okay. So if you see here, this is our rice pot. What I'm going to do is to add in water, enough water. So if you're using jasmine rice, 1 cup of water to 1 cup of rice. Now for basmati rice, is 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. That is our usual measurement, right? For the rice, for 1 cup of rice, for basmati rice, 1 cup of rice, we have to add in additional half bowl of water, okay, half cup of water. So what I'm doing here is 2 cups, so I need to add the usual 4 cups. So what I'm going to do here is going to add in 5 cups. Okay. Reason why you need to add more water is because the yam and the pork will also absorb water. Okay. Okay, so we're done. I'm going to put it into the rice pot and I'll let you know once we're ready to eat. Thank you. What I'm going to do is just to fluff the rice a little bit, okay, from the sides. Wow, smelling so good. You see the steamy rice. Hi, so I've cooked the rice, it's ready. I'm just taking a little bit out to test, taste test. It's just so good. Taste is just right. The yam, the fragrance of the yam. Yam is soft and nice. Piece of pork here. Very good. Yummy. Now I hope you enjoy watching my video, and please click subscribe and also share the video and like our video so that we can produce more videos for you next time. Thank you. Bye bye everybody. Is it nice? Good. Good.
What rabbit?